Good morning. Good morning and welcome. My name is Kent Barnes and I'm the Executive Vice President for External Relations, and it's a pleasure to see all of you early this morning. I hope you didn't trample any of our students on your way to the building. Wait, it's 7 o'clock. Our students are not up yet. We're delighted to see so many of you, though, here this morning. It is my pleasure to introduce to you President of Augustana College, Steve Balls. He is the 8th president of Augustana. He joined the college in the summer of 2003 and is in his 19th and final year as president. Under Steve's leadership, Augustana has accomplished so much. New buildings, new majors, new athletic programs, new programs to support student achievement, and of course, in the last several years, he's been leading the way to fund these initiatives and ensure that the Augustana experience is great for our students. In Steve's first campaign, he raised $153 million, and he just recently completed a campaign during the height of a pandemic that exceeded its goal by $10 million. In all, Steve Balls has raised more than $250 million for Augustana students and to ensure that their experience is the best possible experience. I'm going to let you all decide later this morning about this spectacular facility, the Peter J. Lindbergh, MD Center for Health and Human Performance, to determine for yourself whether this is one of Steve's crowning achievements. Please welcome with me, Steve Balls.
Thank you so much, Kent, and a warm welcome to Augustana College. When Kent first talked to me about the possibility of a new academic building focusing on the health sciences connected to a natatorium, I had to think about that over the weekend, maybe over several weekends. But Kent worked with Lindbergh to come up with a bold vision for a unique building at Augustana College, and I'm anxious for you to see it. Let me welcome you all to Augustana College. We have with us today the Augustana College Board of Trustees, members of the Alumni Board, and other friends of the Augustana community. Friends, this is a big deal to dedicate one of the best buildings on the Augustana College campus, and we are so happy that you are here with us. I want to especially thank and welcome members of the Peter J. Lindbergh family who are with us today. Peter's wife, Mary. Mary, it's good to catch up with you again. His daughter, Kirsten, husband, Tim, and daughter, Kiera, from Columbus, Ohio. And welcome to the wonderful Augustana College and the Peter J. Lindbergh MD Center for Health and Human Performance. Likewise, I want to mention that this marvelous building really embodies the vision of Augustana College and the values of Augustana College. At Augustana College, we integrate academic programs with co- and extracurricular programs. How appropriate it is to recognize and integrate a building with academic programs focused on health and wellness, with athletic facilities that keep our students fit and well. Likewise, you will notice upstairs that we have a meditation room. This symbolizes Augustana's commitment to centeredness, to faith, to growth in mind, body, and spirit, no matter what religion you are. Further, the excellent classrooms symbolize Augustana's commitment to do things with quality. I just am anxious for you to see the equipment in this classroom, state-of-the-art equipment that makes our kinesiology program one of the strongest programs, to be sure, among liberal arts colleges and perhaps in the nation. The Austin E. Knowlton Foundation deserves great credit for its vision in challenging Augustana to take this wonderful donation and create a real strategic niche among Midwest liberal arts colleges, and should I say national colleges, for its commitment to innovation in health and wellness. I want to thank the members of the foundation who are here, especially Eric Lindbergh and his brother John. Let us thank the Knowlton Foundation for this tremendous vision. And I'm particularly pleased that Dr. Lindbergh's family has lent his name to this building because his values and Augustana's values align perfectly. After graduating from Augustana, Dr. Lindbergh entered the University of Chicago Medical School. He had a deep interest in holistic health and saved lives that represent and contributed to health of his community and health through his advocacy nationally. He was a liberally educated person. He viewed medicine as more as simply practices and procedures, but caring for the whole person. My friends, this is what we need in today's society from the medical community. Health is about more than practices and procedures. Health is holistic care for the whole individual, be it physical health, mental health, spiritual health, living in healthy communities, and living in healthy environments. Thank you to the Lindbergh family for lending your father's name, your husband's name, Peter Lindbergh, to this facility. Let's thank the Lindbergh family. And just as Dr. Lindbergh touched so many lives, this building will touch generations of students and will be inspired by his legacy to view health holistically and to view health as part of growth during college years in mind, body, and spirit. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Kimberly Murphy, Professor of Biology and our inaugural Director of Augustana's Center for the Study of Health and Wellness. Dr. Murphy.
Good morning. First, I also have to thank the Lindbergh family. I had an amazing opportunity with the Lindbergh family yesterday to hear stories about Peter J. Lindbergh and also see pictures of Peter. Wow. Gosh, is this beautiful space truly representing Dr. Peter J. Lindbergh, his passions, the type of person he was, and his interest in holistic health and wellness. So thank you. This center stands at a very prominent entrance to campus between the college's academic center as well as the athletic center. Augustana's excellent public health and kinesiology programs are housed in this building. This is very much a space that will advance health and performance in athletics and educate professionals who can address growing challenges in the fields of kinesiology, public health, and community health and wellness. The center, as it is imagined, also will serve the needs of the community while at the same time preparing our graduates for high-demand careers. It's very much a center that strengthens campus and community well-being and that connects well and broadly with the college's curricular and co-curricular activities. In this space, we can support and strengthen the programs that we have that really help our students to become problem solvers. That's what we want. Problem solvers who have more than just the specialized skills, but also have durable skills and are very much ready to go out into the world, tackle the problems that we have today, as well as the problems we don't even know about, the problems of the future. So again, thank you to each and every one of you, and I really hope you enjoy this space.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy, and thank you for your leadership at Augustana College. Not only is Dr. Murphy a respected academic and professor at Augustana College, she is also deeply connected to athletics. She serves as Augustana College's faculty athletic representative, which is a position designated by the NCAA as ensuring that academic and athletic programs are well coordinated with each other. So thank you, Dr. Murphy, so much. You are standing in the John and Tammy Marabito Commons funded by our board chair and his generous wife. I'd like to call John and Wiley forward, our vice chair, Wiley, to help us unveil the plaque, please. Thank you, John and Wiley, and I'd invite you to take a look at that plaque a little more carefully and learn more about the life of Dr. Lindbergh. You know, to build a wonderful building like this, it takes the cooperation of so many, our generous donors, our faculty, our staff working with our contractors. But I'll tell you one contractor in the Quad Cities that has had a special relationship with Augustana, and that is Russell Construction. Here to offer a few comments on behalf of Russell Construction is Melissa Pepper. She is the Chief Strategy Officer of Russell Construction, but most importantly, she is an Augustana College graduate of the class of 2009. Melissa?
Good morning. Like Steve said, I am an Augustana grad and a newly minted Chief Strategy Officer here at Russell. The Augie education I received formed me into the critical thinker I am today, something we prize at Russell. Russell's core value of innovation leads team members to redefine the standard of excellence. We solve problems, we add value through inspired, innovative, and empowered teams. We have some of our team members who built this space and who led the building of this space today. And so I just want to list them because they really have put their heart and soul, their sweat, and maybe tears, hopefully not, into this space. And that's Brett Kettleson, who is the PX, Brian Hedgren, the Senior Project Manager, Patrick Lemkel, who was the Project Engineer. Our PC was Kathy Collins. And then we had 3 superintendents, Dick Larson, Steve Ruiz, and Eugene Smith. John Fout did all of the virtual design and construction. Rick Ockerland was our pre-con leader with Mike Brown doing some work on the pool. And our architect was Leggett, always glad to be partners with Leggett, and the engineering firm was IMEG. The ability to keep the job site in operation during this pandemic with no shutdowns required critical thinking, leadership, and awesome communication. This project saw over 300 tradesmen and 1 woman and 35 local contractors. We kept it moving forward and completed this project under budget. And here we are. The building has the only SwimX unit in an Illinois college. Among its other exciting features you can see on the cards around the room today and while you're taking your tour. We are grateful to Augustana for our partnership as this marks our 4th completed project on campus. Congratulations, Augie. We look forward to continuing to see you build tomorrow's leaders.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and welcome back to your home at Augustana College. It was incredible that we could get this job done through the pandemic, supply shortages, and so on. So many colleges are struggling with getting buildings done, but we were able to do this. At this point, it is a tradition at Augustana College to dedicate a building with a blessing, recognizing our sacred mission of helping students grow in mind, body, and spirit. Here to deliver the blessing today is our relatively new Augustana College chaplain, Pastor Melinda Pupello. She will share with us a dedication and blessing.
Good morning. It is a pleasure and honor to be with you this morning. From Psalm 139, we praise you, O God, for we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are marvelous. We know this very well. The psalmist then goes on to praise God for the ways that our bones and our flesh are knit together by God's loving hand. And now we have this incredible facility, wonderfully made through relationships and excellence, to knit together wellness for the sake of all. And so it is that we bless this building, asking, oh God, that through the Peter J. Lindbergh M.D. Center that we may be equipped lovingly by your power to tend to our emotional, social, and spiritual well-being of our students, our faculty, and our staff in this place. That we may expertly instruct occupational, intellectual, and physical wellness in this place. God bless the teaching and learning that happens here. God bless the training, coaching, and formation that is happening here. And we thank you for the living generosity of the Austin E. Knowlton Foundation and the Lindbergh family. May their legacy enrich the learning and expertise of Augustana students for generations to come. In the name of God, Holy Three in One, we dedicate this center to your glory and your generous spirit that lives through our work here. Amen.
Amen, Pastor, and may this building bless many generations of Augustana students, community members, faculty, and staff. We have a special treat this morning, and that is comments from the family, and we will invite Dr. Lindbergh's daughter forward to tell us a bit about Dr. Lindbergh.
Good morning. I did not expect so many people to be here. So I just wanted to start by thanking, so I'm Kirsten Lindbergh. I'm Peter Lindbergh's oldest of two daughters. And it's truly an honor to be here today for the dedication and to celebrate the opening of the Peter J. Lindbergh MD Center for Health and Human Performance. On behalf of myself and my family, I want to give deepest thanks to President Steve Balls, to Ken Barnes, and to the Knowlton Foundation for having the vision to think of this center and then get it completed and open it. It's really a remarkable space, and it clearly encompasses both the important principles that my dad lived his life by. When we were first approached about this center and about having it named after him, we were stunned. The idea, the thought of the center, my dad would have been absolutely thrilled to have this place, would be a thought, but then his first response would be to duck his head, avert his eyes, and not at the idea of the center, but at the name of the center, because he was really a humble guy. And over the years, he saved hundreds of lives, he touched thousands of people, but he always remained to himself saying he just wanted to be a humble country doctor, which he was in our small town of 17,000 people. If prodded, he might say, well, it wouldn't be so bad to be a world-famous humble country doctor. But, he remained humble. So, of the many things that my father was, including the humble country doctor, he was always a man of science, education, spirituality, and sport. He practiced medicine from the 20s, really right up until his death at the age of 76. Despite his small stature, he was a man of intellectual giant. He constantly was researching, following novel treatments in prostate cancer, which was his true love, and treating the most challenging cases, having people come from all over the country to see him in our little town because they had heard about the work that he was doing. Sometimes healing needs you to take risks, and sometimes healing needs you to make a leap of faith. Of course, when I was a kid, I did not really understand how brilliant my dad was. He was just a physician in a town that was filled with astrophysicists, the other type of doctor in Los Alamos. Truly, it was really only after I graduated from college and I matured that I began to appreciate what an exceptional human and healer he was. He was always striving to find the best treatments, to provide more comfort for his patients, to have their families more involved in their care and truly understand what was going on. Yearly, he would attend the ASCO, which is a National Cancer Society for clinical oncologists, where the latest data was reviewed, potential new medications reviewed, novel ways of using old applications and medications to treat the patients. He did all this for his patients, not because he was afraid of death, but because he genuinely wanted to alleviate human suffering. Spiritual practice was very important to him, and it was integral into how he viewed the world and also on the basis of his interactions with all humanity. I'm pretty sure that if you looked up the Golden Rule in the Bible picture, you'd see an image of my dad giving the thumbs up, saying, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." A committed Lutheran, Dad found profound meaning and comfort in his faith. And when faced with the decline and death of patients, as all cancer stories do not end happily, he would be there for his patients with an understanding that the patient is not just the disease process, not just the body, but the mind and the spiritual must be treated along with the body. My father walked and prayed almost daily. He would go out to the back behind our house to the confluence of two canyons where he had a place that he had dubbed the prayer rock, and he would set up just a cross with little sticks on this rock, and he would sit and he would pray and he would contemplate and he would look out at a space where you don't see any other humans. You're looking at the blue sky, the desert mountains, the canyon below the river, not another human solar structure. And he would contemplate any of the things that were causing him anxiety at the time. It was a space for contemplation about the minusculeness of ourselves and our problems in the largesse of nature, the earth, and the universe. Always, he was humble. To this day, when we walk past this rock, we will reset those weather-worn sticks, look out, pause, take in all that's around us. Though he was rooted firmly in the Judeo-Christian tradition, he did not limit himself or claim that this was the way. Dad's desire to connect with people at all levels and all races, all religions, led him to be a constant learner, to pick up new books. So he had friends of many faiths through the year, but when my sister started to date somebody from the Jewish faith, his response was to go out and literally buy a book called The History of the Jews. It's 656 pages, and read it front to back so that he could have a better understanding from the direction that my sister's boyfriend would have in his background. This is just part of what he did. He loved learning. He always read. He loved history. And were he not have become a physician, I really think he would have pursued a PhD in history. This really comes back to that liberal arts foundation that he had, where you explore all facets of life, all facets of education. As far as his work in the hospital and the spirituality and the mind-body, he, again, as I said, he always wanted to treat the whole person, treat their spiritual needs. He worked extremely closely with the pastor from our church, bringing that pastor in to attend to the patients, to involve them, to talk to their families about spiritual needs that they might have, and to coordinate the care with the whole heart, the whole soul of the individuals that he's worked with. To his way of thinking, this is what we are put on earth to do, to help our fellow man, to be and to do good, and to reflect the Christ inside each one of us, no matter what your denomination is. Dad's spirituality found other expressions in the joy that he experienced in the great outdoors, the wonderment of nature around him, in his dogs, and above all, his greatest passion, bicycling. He was a lifelong cyclist. When he was small, young, he wasn't the most athletic kid, but he found great joy and release in the bicycle. And he talked about how when he was a kid, he was so proud because he could ride his bike all the way to school and back, around the corners and everything without using his hands. It was remarkable considering that as he grew, he was so focused on safety. We had to wear our helmets. He was an early adopter of seat belts and vaccines. I was first in line for both the varicella and the pneumonia vaccine as soon as those came out. But the bike was a constant fixture in his life, and he did this not for anything to do with how the environment was, but it was freeing and it was liberating to him, and he could get out and he could focus on, like, he could let his mind go while he was out on his bike and working really hard and pushing his body harder, clearing out the junk of the day. He was always trying to get up that mountain faster, trying to catch that rider in front of him, trying to get a few more miles in that year, because he always kept track of how many miles he completed each year as he aged. If my dad was here today, he would be so thrilled. He would think it was so cool. He might even use the word neato, that there's this amazing space where there's space to be athletic, space to come together and meet, to work with your classmates, to collaborate on projects, to share information. The amazing classrooms that you have with the DEXA and the BOD pod, all these like advances in technology that are going to be used to help understand the human body better. It really would be like quite phenomenal to him, and he would be so proud. And I'm sure he is like up there, looking down on this and saying, "Wow, this is really neat." Okay, I'll take the name. It's okay, but he really would be absolutely thrilled, and we really can see the reflection of his life here in everything that I said, is the academic rooms, the meeting spaces, the community. He would be so happy to see all these people who have come together to honor not him, but this space that's been created for generations of students to come. So, thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten, for those wonderful remarks. It's just wonderful the impact that Augustana College graduates have on their communities and the world. With your family's permission, we'd like you to share those remarks formally with us so we can put those remarks in the archives of Augustana College so the next generation of students can hear those comments also. Well, this is the conclusion, friends, of our formal ceremony. I'd like to invite you to a light breakfast in the Commons area and an opportunity to tour the building. As you tour, and these will be self-guided tours, please note the spaces named by our generous donors and those named in honor of those dedicated to health and wellness. I'd like to highlight two areas in particular for your specific review. The first is the functional training lab on this first floor, named for Aben Cooper, class of 1993. He was an outstanding biology student and an outstanding baseball athlete. That is the combining of athletics and academics. In 1993, Aben was awarded the prestigious Academic All-American recognition, making him to be the first black All-American from Augustana College, and we're very proud of his story. Secondly, there's another story that we are proud of, and that is the story of Anne Grieve Lund. I'd like to draw your attention to the natatorium named for Anne Grieve Lund, class of 1926. She was the first director of women's athletics at Augustana College from 1924 to 1934. She assumed faculty status while she was still a student at the college and almost single-handedly pushed women's athletics toward the modern era at Augustana. Her slogan was, "Every girl an athlete participating in at least one sport," and her mantra during the decade-long tenure here is still remembered today. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for sharing this very special time with us. And please tour this facility and enjoy the vision of a building that will help generations of Augustana students grow in mind, body, and spirit. Here ends our formal ceremony. Thank you.
So it's great. So Ted, we all come together to learn
No problem.
The interesting I know is that, I mean, I'm just curious, like, I think I know the reason.
It was so nice to meet you. Safe travels home. Thank you.
So we thought we were going to Springfield. Because I had this whole, like, weird trick that I had planned. I mean, he was sort of like this thing, and then he was just walking around shaking hands. Like, we're like, are you curious what's happening, or are you just now going to start reading it? Like the mayor.
Kimberly was said that he didn't want anything said. So
Yeah, that's not going to happen, Dad. Forget that.
We just did the service and nothing else, so I was writing this, and my sister